Can you
Okay.
hear me now? Okay. So,
All right.
yeah. Good evening, everyone. The Verse Whisperer is back with another talk on books, writing, and publishing. I cordially welcome you all to our book discussion, Mystery to Mastery, where today we are going to talk about Mr. Ankit Agrawal's book, debut book, The Mystery of Solution. And are you ready to crack a code of corporate success? Or at least figure out how to get through Monday morning without too much caffeine? Well, stay till the end. For today, we have among us a very talented author, Mr. Ankit Agrawal, who has written a self help book in the guise of fiction. And he is going to share some advice, anecdotes, and wisdom on how to navigate the wild corporate jungle. Ankit Agrawal, at the age of 42, brings a wealth of experience to his writing. With a career spanning 18 years in software development, Mr. Agrawal has predominantly held leadership roles in the tech industry. Born and raised in Jaipur, Rajasthan, he pursued his education in VTU Bangalore in telecommunication. He lives in Bangalore with his wife and a daughter. Agarwal has been an active contributor to the field of leadership through his blogs and articles on LinkedIn. Beyond his professional pursuits, he enjoys gardening and reading. Being an expert in shaping next generation leaders and revitalizing organizational process, his insights from his tech career are the soul of his writing. The Mystery of Solution, as you know, is his debut book. It is a hilarious and insightful novel, perfect for every software professionals, either veteran or those about to enter in the field. So, sir, do you want to introduce us with your book?
Oh, I think you've told enough, but yeah, this is the book. All right. So, as thanks for the elaborate introduction. Yeah. So basically, so why I wanted to write this book was across 18 years of experience. I just wanted to showcase what I've learned and what I see as part of IT culture and people, the way people behave in at workspace, right? I just wanted everybody to know what different difficulties people come across and what are the different simple solutions that are always in front of us. You can use to solve those problems. So that was my way to write the book.
Indeed, sir. We are very excited to dive into your book.
Thank you.
As always, the Verse Whisperer is striving to bring to you lively and engaging discussions that you will enjoy. Hence, we have a special guest with us today, and he is none other than author Rupesh Ranjan. He is a poet from Muzaffarpur, Bihar, and currently working as a SSASO in the Land and Revenue Department of Bihar government. Rupesh sir, welcome back.
Uh, thank you, Rima, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Thank you.
Actually, many thanks for providing me such an opportunity as a special guest. And sir is very senior to me, so it is just going to be a very much learning experience. And I have in some kind of relation with this boss whisperer, and I am also in the position. I have also introduced my book on this platform. So I have been something kind of relation with this. And at that time also I've been grateful for providing me an opportunity. And again at the same time today also I've been very much grateful for providing such an opportunity to be part of this wonderful session. And so as far as Boss Whisperer is concerned, all the members are very friendly, and their response has been highly. And as far as participation and cooperation is concerned, their response has been very nice. And at that time also they worked hard in the arrangement, the whole arrangement of this session. And again, at that time I have thanked, and today I'm also expecting the same, that the today's session will also be wonderful like that. in the, and I'm also thanking sir uh, to come to give his a part of his time for us. Many welcome to you, sir, and many thanks to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you, sir.
uh, and I'm
We are
expecting a
always
wonderful
grateful
procession
to
here.
you.
Thanks. And you can call me Ankit. My name is Ankit, not sir.
No, sir. I think it will be fine to tell you, sir. Um, by
We
your experience, sir.
we can actually compare, like, from how long you're writing, Rupesh.
Sir, I have been writing from around 2 years, sir.
Then you are my senior. I'm not your senior.
No, okay.
There you go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Um,
so without further ado, let's dive into unraveling the mystery of success in workplace.
yeah.
Okay, so Ankit sir, what was the initial spark that you set on the path to becoming an author? Like you were
Okay.
working in software development for 18 years. When
Right.
did you decide to make the switch and why you feel that?
Okay. So basically, as I said initially, as part of my introduction, also, I wanted to write a book from a very long time, but because of my busy schedule, I could not. And I wanted, the way I observe a lot of things, right? And because of that, I see, okay, fine. In fact, Sarvesh is also here. He has worked under me in corporate world. So I observe stuff, and when I observe stuff, and I realize, oh, why people are doing things wrong way? Why can't we make it better? So it has worked for a very long time for me, and for people who I was working with. And then I said, okay, fine. If this works, why not other people do it? If they don't know it, let's make it available for them. Uh, but last year, I quit my job, and I said, okay, fine, let's now write this book. When I started writing, I wanted to write it as a self-help nonfiction. When I started writing, I realized, okay, there are already so many self-help book on similar, kind of topic. What will I write new? So I said, okay, fine, let's do something different and make it narrative nonfiction. And that's how the idea came in, and that's where I came up with lots of different characters, build those characters, and if you read the book, then you'll know what I'm talking about.
So it is a very big challenge you have taken for yourself to becoming a writer. So what exactly inspired you to do that? It is a very big step you have taken for your life.
um, I would say it's not a big step. I would say it was out of passion, you can say. um, and of course, I was bored of my job and the amount of stress and everything. So I said, okay, fine, let's do something. Because if I'll not do, you said my age is 42, right? If I'll not do it right now, when will I do it? Right? Of
Yes.
course, there's no age to start writing a book, but then I thought this is right time, and it will also give me a break. uh, but yeah, there is no, I don't know what kind of answer you're looking for, but then this is the reason which I wanted to start. And then I'm glad that I could sell few copies of these, and then people actually have been coming back to me and saying that these are really, the amount of the learning that they're getting from this book is quite good. They're appreciating that. Even from colleges, people who are about to join corporate world, they are saying that it's quite helpful to understand what to expect when they get into corporate.
Yes. I'm very sure that they find it helpful because there
Thanks.
are many people from colleges that they are really trying to have job in corporate world.
Right, right, right.
Yes. So, so the title is The Mystery of Solution.
Yep.
Yeah. So what is the unique approach that you attempted as an author
Hmm.
to come up with this title?
Okay. Um, so if I have to sell my book, right? If I have to create an interest, I have to maybe look unique or sound unique.
Yes.
So that's one motive behind that. So there are two things for this book which are quite distinguished as part of a book. One is the title and the color of the book. right?
Yes.
The color of the book also goes with the same strategy that see what you can do. If you go to a bookstore, you look within thousands of books, and then if you find a book which has a different color, you just pick it up. The motive is that once you pick it up, it's all about the book, whether it gets sold or not.
The color is very bright yellow.
Yes. So that
Yes.
was the whole idea, that somebody actually will pick it up.
Yes.
If it picks up, then half the battle is done, right? So
And the artwork is very fun on
yes.
it.
So yeah, all those things are strategic, but I'll tell you the reason behind the title. So title is Mystery of the
Yes.
Solutions. So the idea behind the title was, there is always a mystery in my mind. Why, when the solutions are already there in front of you, you've read the book, the solution, anything and everything that is solved in this book is right in front of you. It's very simple solution. That's a very right thing to do. All those things, right? So if the solutions are so simple, the mystery is why people don't use it.
Yes.
Hence the title.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there are many pop culture references in the book, from a reference to Javris to Kraken. What made you incorporate such things into this book?
Uh, can you repeat that? Which one? Pop culture.
Yes, pop culture, Jarvis to Kraken.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay. They are not necessarily pop culture. It's more of has to do the see. A book is about what author has experienced and read or watched, right? So Jarvis comes from Marvels, Iron Man,
Yes.
and Kraken I think comes from, I think, one of the cartoon shows my daughter watches. So it comes from that, and I don't know if you've already identified. I like to be funny, okay, but this book is not about having lots of humor, because if I put lots of sarcastic humor and all, the essence of this book will be lost, right? So I've here and there I've tried to put those kind of references. I'm a huge fan of Friends, and that goes in my dedications also. And yeah, so those are the things I've tried using.
Great, sir. So the sarcasm and humors are there, of course, in the book.
Yeah.
How do you think it will influence the tone of the book?
So that's why I've tried using. So if you look at it, I've tried using most of my sarcasm outside the main story. It's in the dedication. It's in the prologue or introduction of the book, so it doesn't affect the story main. I tried using that, and then here and there I have developed one or two characters in the book where they will most of the time they'll be sarcastic. So that's how I kind of tried infusing my way of humor into this book without affecting the tone of the book.
Okay.
Because if, let's say, if the mentor, or if the let's say if there is a mentor, or if there is a person who's learning it, if they become sarcastic, then it loses the essence of the book, that maybe it comes out that they are not taking things seriously, right? So that's why.
While reading the book, one could relate to almost all the lessons and advice
Hmm.
imparted in the book. They are not only applicable in the workplace setting, but also in general life. As I read the book, I
Yeah.
find.
Yeah.
How did you manage to capture the psychology of people and their behavior so effectively?
All right. As I said, I like to read people, and I like to, try to find witty ways of coming up stuff. I don't know if you noticed that the moment Rupesh told me that I'm his senior, I wanted to, get back to him saying that no, you're a senior author than me. So those kind of things, right? So everybody is very unique, and everybody works in a very different way. The moment you start catching up all those things, it's very easy to work with them, right? And that's how have led me, like, okay, fine, if I'm dealing with this kind of a person, I have to behave in certain way. And those all people who I've come across are basically, that's the essence of all those people in the about the characters of this book. So that's how I came up with all those characters and behaviors of them.
So now you are a full-time author.
I try to be. I try to be, but then I also do. So basically, authoring is what I started with. But then what happens is you have to pay the bills also. So I'm
Yeah.
actually a coach, trainer. I'm a leadership coach and a trainer. I try to do that along with writing the book. So yeah, these are the two things I'm doing right now.
Great, sir. So how can you manage the time? How can you balance things?
I don't have a job anymore, so it's all the time I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
You do a lot of research work then, writing in
Yeah,
book.
so see, the amount of experience I have, right? I have still so many stories with me that I can write at least seven, eight, nine more books and not repeat any behavior, right? So as I said, I have 18 years of experience. I've seen so many things, so I can still write lots of these kind of things. So research, yes, when I am writing something which probably I'm picking up from, let's say, 10 years back, but still want to make it relevant right now, I do research. So otherwise, I try not writing it because it actually happened in Mystery of Solutions. The first print or the first part of it when it was printed, there was a couple of mistakes which were
Yes.
if you just Google it, you'll find it it's written wrong. So we had to discard those, edit the mistake, and reprint those. So yes, it's very very important to do research and write research.
So our Rupesh sir is also writing books from many days, and he has published more than 10 books, I guess.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, and he's in a full-time job. So do Rupesh sir will like to say anything about it, balancing and doing the work?
Uh, Actually, I am 100% agreeing with the sir. Whatever sir is telling. Actually require a source. मतलब you have to be practical. Practical in the sense कि require something source of money for your other expenses. So you have to balance both the things as well as authoring the books and handling your family's your expenses. So both the things are important, and sir is doing. Sir is expecting the both the truths. Case with everyone. That's the case with me also. That's I am not going to be dependent only on the sales of my books because in the beginning I am known to the fact that books are not going to be sold at such a rate, and I'm not going to get too much from the books. So we require something another sources from which we can run our families or meet our expenses. So I agree with sir,
Yes.
and I am actually it's really a delightful thing. Sir is sharing his experience through his books, and according to sir, he is just going to write more than seven, eight. Matlab, sir has so much experience, and he's going to uh, use all his experience in writing, and it's good for all of us. Okay, that will be benefited by all his experiences through his books by reading his books. So it's fine, and it's good. And we all are moving forward as far as books will become, and we will read those books and learn from those experiences. Sir, lots saying best of luck for you, sir. Okay,
Thank you
sir.
so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
So this is a self-help book in the form of fictional narrative. So it could be a best guide for the people who are in corporate job. So
Yeah.
why did you choose a narrative like this, like fictional narrative?
Okay. I can use the same methods and same things and same learnings. I can switch it to maybe, let's say, a chartered accountant. Narrate a story about a chartered accountant and use the same learnings here. It will still come out true, right? But because I have experience in this, I'll have to research less in this narrative of the background of a software company. That's why I've written like that. Maybe in future I'll write it in a different format. Same learnings. It'll be like same like chicken soup for souls, right? Same narrative
Yes.
but different perspectives.
Yes. marketing strategy when you first come to publish it?
Okay. I did a lot of research, and I thought, okay, fine. What are the different options do I have? Uh, I reached out to lots of people for publishing, and I'm sorry to say, but you have no idea how much money they ask. Okay, and uh,
What was the amount?
sorry,
What was the amount for
I
publishing?
don't remember right now, but then it was quite a handsome amount. Even for just for editing the book, the entire book, it was somewhere somebody was quoting for 1.25 lakh just to edit the book.
Wow,
Then I ended up doing
amazing.
myself, and I saved 1.25 lakh. Anyways, so the idea was to get it published and see what can be done with that. Now, though there are only two ways. One is to publish through some publishing house, and you know wait for them to do everything. And I'm part of another group. Rima, you are also part of that group, Triple AI, and we keep hearing stories why people don't go to publishing houses. There are so many, and there are very less who are reliable these days, and which are reliable actually take do not take every script, right? So with all these things, I said, okay, it's too much of hassle. Let me become indie author, which is basically self-published author. So I did that, and I said, okay, fine. Anyways, I have time. I'm going to do marketing and sales from my own on my own. So yeah, that was the whole idea. I wanted to keep all the profits to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your advice should be for the publishing authors, new generations?
New generation, yes. So let's say if you're writing your first book, I would suggest a couple of things. One is please focus on completing your manuscript. That's really important. Okay. Being a leadership coach, I teach these kind of people that if you create a goal, please work towards that goal and finish it. Right. Now, what happens? Let's say how I work. So I'm already writing a sequel for this book. Okay. I've already created some dates, some milestones, and through that milestone I get what I'm going to do as part of next day or next day after that. So for right now, my current target is I have to complete writing the number of words that are going to go in this book within next 45 days. Okay. So when I have this target, let's say I am done with 14,000 words as of right now, and I'm targeting 50,000, sorry, 60,000. So remaining, how much is 36,000? I have to write in 45 days. So 36 divided 45, I have to roughly write 1,000 pages a day, 1,000 words a day. Okay, so that's your target for a day. You cannot miss that. People have to
Yes.
understand that. Second thing, what happens is, how do you get the mood to write? Right? I
Yes.
have discovered this, or it works for me. I don't know if it will work for others also. Set one time. Let's say it's from 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 or morning 11 to 12, whatever time, 1 hour, 1.5 hour, whatever you need. That time you are going to write every single day without fail. If you follow these two things, you will finish everything within time. Problem what happens is people keep writing and then they take a break. Then that break, 1 week break becomes 1 month break. And when they wanted to, complete the manuscript within next 3 months, it becomes 6 months. So
Yes.
that should to avoid that, you have to be very strict and disciplined, right? Because understand one thing, Rima, have you written a book? You've written a book, right?
Yes. Yes.
The
Book
easiest
poetry
part,
books.
yeah, the easiest part is to finish, publish. That's it. Once the book is in your hand, that's the most easiest part. The difficult part starts after that: marketing, sales, and different other things, right? So getting the book out or the product out is the most important thing. So do it as soon as possible.
Yes. Marketing is very challenging nowadays. It takes much money from us.
Sorry.
It is not easy. Writing a book is okay, but when we come to marketing, then we find difficulties.
Yeah, I mean, you can have a coach, you can have somebody who can push you every day, um, in a different ways. So there are ways to that. If you'll ask for help, you'll get help.
Some background noises are coming. From where?
Hello. Hello.
Yes. Yes, Poonam Malik. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, how did you tackle that difficult part after your book was in your hand? And marketing and all that. How did you tackle that?
Ma'am, this is still a struggle. I would say it is still a struggle.
It seems to be very successful. I mean, like, tell us about that journey, that part, and
Sure.
so that others can learn from it.
Right, right. I mean, see, marketing and sales is one thing. Basically, for people to buy your book, you have to create a personal brand. They have to believe in you to buy your book, right? Uh, and what we are doing today is as that, one part of that. Um, as long as number of people are going to see me and hear me, they'll say, okay, fine, there is some credibility behind this guy, so let's give it a chance to his book. So that's number one. um, all the relevant platforms. So for me, I've written about software industry, so for me a relevant platform is LinkedIn. So I'm very active on LinkedIn. So you have to find your relevant platform, be active there, and just keep writing about lots of stuff so that people know, after a few weeks or months, that okay, this guy knows something, right? uh, those are the few things. Go to different um events like this, or book fairs, participate in book discussions and all those things. So those are the things, yes. What I've seen is people kind of quit too easily. See, right now I have energy, I am ready to do that, but lots of people don't want to do that, or they don't have energy, or they don't even want to do that. It could be XYZ reason. I'm not saying they do not want to do that, but they either don't have resources, or patience, or whatever we call it. So not everybody is same. Since it's working for me, I'm just telling that it works for me. I still feel I've not sold so many copies that I can call myself successful.
As
uh,
of now, how much has your sales been? Has it been encouraging?
I do not know the answer of the definition of encouraging, but it's not encouraging. I don't find it encouraging, because as I said, I create a lot of goals for myself, and I really want to go hard on myself if I want to be, reach, in my eyes, it's successful. So right now, from last, it was launched in January. We are already in September, so I've sold around 200 copies.
Around
200 copies.
200 copies. Good. Seems very good. So, all these has been through your book launches on your platform, or independently on Amazon and Flipkart, etc.
Everything independently.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So the platform is open for discussion now from audiences
Okay.
part.
Sarvesh
So
wanted to ask
yes.
something.
Hey, hi Ankit. Hello everyone. I'm Sarvesh, a colleague. Basically, I was working with Ankit, and as he was my manager. So I know that being a so organized person, Ankit. So I really find amazing to work with him, because how he used to do this layout, right? Any plans and all. So I always used to tell him, Ankit, you can educate so many people with this, right? It helped me a lot in my IT career, at least. So I was always telling that it's kind of a limited audience, right? Always when you're working in a company, only your audience is your employees, who are you are managing under few people. So to reach out to a larger audience, I think I did not suggest him to write a book or something, but I always used to think that okay, multiple people also can get that help, right? So like I think you found that mojo, and you started doing this. But as a like outsider, right? As a neutral person, I want to ask, like, I know this journey is very difficult to write a book and to follow up all those things, right? So I just want to understand, like, uh, being a coach or being a writer. how your journey has been over the years. Like, how do you encourage if somebody wants to pick up this role or this path, right? So there will be a lot of ifs, buts, and a lot of uncertainties. Okay, how will I do? How will I
Right.
survive? How will I pay my bills? So I just wanted to understand from that perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I think I already kind of answered it, but I can say again. Um, if you do not have a if you do not have a income which is coming up every month, you don't have paycheck, then it's really a little scary. So if you are choosing a path which is basically being a entrepreneur or author or a independent kind of a role, you have to think it through, very, 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 keenly. Now, what happens is, you might think, okay, things will go this way, things will go that way. And I was also very confident that I'm going to sell this many copies and I'll be fine and all those things. But then reality hits you, right? And then you understand what's reality and how difficult it is to sell things to people. So I would say if somebody wants to get onto this path, first talk to a person who has actually taken this path, right? So let's say, Sarvesh, you want to take this path, you can talk to me, and I can tell you every single point what went good and what went well, and what kind of effort it might take for you to go through this journey. That will actually give you an idea whether you are ready for this journey or not, right? And the second thing is a good amount of backup. Now, whether that in terms of savings, in terms of somebody lending you money or whatever, at the end of the day, you have to pay the bills, right? So those kind of things, if they are covered, you're good to go.
But yeah, overall, not only writing a book, I think any people can choose any profession basically where
Yes.
they can succeed. So in that way, right, I think your book will help us people to go in different paths and uh, to not to be scared on or stereotype to a particular thing. So if you are willing
Absolutely.
to do anything, you can do anything you want.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Tell us about your journey in coaching. You say you're a leadership coach, right?
Yes.
So tell us something about that, about
Okay.
your students and
Right. So basically, it's the same thing. What I teach in my books, I try to teach it to teams, try to teach it to individuals, and so it's all about how do we say. I'll give you an example. Poonam ma'am, you might have also created some goals in your life, right? And everybody here sitting here probably would have created some kind of goals at some point of their time, their life. Now, what happens is creating goal is very exciting. Okay, we have created this goal, maza aa gaya. Okay, but next day, to follow up on that goal, the life becomes difficult, right? So my expertise come in that okay, now you have created the goal. How do we follow it up? So what I tell people is, let's say you have created a goal. In this month, I have to walk. I have to start getting to 10,000 steps a day.
okay.
Right now, it's 1,000 or 2,000 steps a day. Right now, I want to get into 10,000. What happens is people look at that goal and they say, "Oh my God, it's too a bigger goal. How can I do it?" And they demotivate themselves because it's 10,000.
They would have created that goal, no?
Sorry.
I said the goal has been created by themselves only. So why are they scared then?
Exactly. That happens, ma'am. That's the reality. That happens. That today I create a goal. I'm very excited. Next day I'm like, okay, fine. Who will do that? Because it takes an effort, right? So what I tell them is, okay, you're going 10,000 or sorry 2,000 steps today. No problem. You don't have to do 10,000. Don't even think about 10,000. This week's target or this day's target is 2,100 or 2,200. If they do 2,200, it's still a progress. Next day, let's do 2,500. If you don't do it, that's fine. Until we reach 2,500, let's not think about anything else. Once they reach 2,500, let's do 2,700. Eventually, you'll reach there. And that's the whole idea. The
Right.
problem is we just see the 10,000 and then we just say okay, nahi hoga. So those kind of
Okay.
things I try to teach in the teams, bigger teams. Similar thing. How do we work together? How do we are always transparent? How do we use the right language and right methods? To work effectively, right? And the glimpses of that also you'll find in my book, where team has worked together. They were having lots of problems. Then there was some solution that was proposed, and then team started working towards that. Everything, there is a disclaimer in the book also. Everything that is written in the book is basically inspired from my real experiences.
Real
uh,
experiences in coaching.
Yes, coaching at when I was having a job, I was still coaching as side within to the teams that I was working with. Um, so yeah, all those things kind of
What
I've
was
tried
your
to put
job
in the book.
like?
Sorry,
What was your job like?
in what terms, ma'am?
I mean, like, what were you working as?
Okay,
The role,
so
job role.
yeah, so the last role that I had was it was director of delivery engineering. So I was looking after at least, let's say, 46 or 47% of the headcount of all the people that were working. So half of the company was under me, and I had like a few delivery managers and almost like 100-ish people under me, uh, indirect and direct, about 25 projects. So the work was day in day out same. Like I don't know if you've heard of IT companies. It's all firefighting every day, right? So so how to get everything smoothen out without getting people developers stressed out. That's very important, right?
Yeah.
So Sarvesh here was one of them, and if something happens in his project, I have to go and calm him down, calm customer down, calm my manager down, calm the CEO down. No, it's fine, don't worry, we'll fix it. So yeah, those kind of things.
Right. Something very novel, I would say.
Right.
Because these days we are hearing a lot of stress in terms of corporate.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, like
As long
even
as
today, two,
yeah,
3 days ago on LinkedIn, they were talking about so many young deaths
right,
in the office itself because of stress.
exactly. That happens. The only thing is, see, what happens is, and Sarvesh can say or more on that. I believe in not channeling my stress. Let's say if my boss is yelling at me, I'll not come and yell on Sarvesh.
Hmm.
What is the point of me being
I
there?
mean,
Then
like,
my boss can directly.
I'm really surprised and I appreciate
Mhm.
about whatever role you have talked about. I don't think I've ever heard about something like that.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate it. I mean, like, how come your company came up with this role? Is something which needs to be uh,
No,
spread
ma'am, the
across.
role was normal. It was me who was trying to define different other things in that. I could have been a normal boss where if something happens, I just go and yell on Sarvesh, dude, this is happening. I don't care anymore. It's your problem now.
I don't know.
And
I mean, more and more companies should have such de-stressing
exactly,
methods, I would say. I mean, like, to
exactly.
make the environment better, to make people feel better.
Yes, yes.
Otherwise, health is really suffering.
That's one thing which I want to try to coach through my books, and that's the whole point. Trying to reach out to masses to
You,
get this
I think
message.
I don't know how to put it, but I think many companies should hire you for this role only. I mean, like you should train people to go about doing these things only in companies.
Yeah, if you'll go my see my LinkedIn bio, it says culture builder. I would like to build a culture because every company I've gone, I'm not trying to boast myself, but I've changed cultures,
Good.
and where people were a lot stressed out. So what happens is once you change the culture, the immediate effect that you see is less people quitting that company.
Yeah.
And everywhere I've gone, the attrition has become very less, at least from my departments. Sarvesh was working with me in a previous company, and then he came again in this company to work with me. So we have been working from two companies. So that's also kind of evidence that
Friendship bonding.
yeah, or Sarvesh likes me a lot.
Really good to know this. It's really good to know this.
Thanks. All right.
Yes.
So, do you ever find it difficult to implement any advice after reading a particular self-help book? Is that all the question? Oh, one second. Just checking. Cause implementation is always the hardest part. Okay. Um, Look, I would say this thing. You will read lots of self-help books, and I always tell people that just reading is meaning not reading. Okay. Now we have acquired that knowledge, and now if you're not using it, what is the point of it? Right? You know how to lose weight, but you're not doing exercise. What is the point of knowing how to lose the weight? Right? So that's the thing. So you will read a book, and you will really find there are things that may not be relevant for you, or there are things that are difficult to implement. Right? I always believe in one thing. Simple conversations or simple conversation and simple actions don't fix difficult problems. Please remember that. So that means if you're trying to change something in your workspace, in your house, or anywhere, it might be difficult. Okay. Anything which I want to, let's say, want to implement, it was difficult initially, but then if you put your heart and soul to it, yes, it will work out. As long
Very
as you are
true.
doing things right for your team, you're not asking for more funds to do anything, nobody will have any problem, right? As long as you're not asking someone else to do more work, because everybody's scared of more work, right? So that's how, I mean, you just go for it. In fact, there is one passage or scene in one of the in this book itself that uh, the person says, okay, I want to implement that, can I go ahead and implement? So the other person says, why are you asking? Is it good thing to implement? Yeah, it's a good thing. Then why are you even asking? Go ahead and do it. No. What's the problem? That's the problem. That mindset we have to change. That I have to ask my boss. I have to take an approval. Why? If you know it's good, go ahead and implement. If it's good, he'll appreciate, or he or she will appreciate. So long answer to your question, Soumyadeep, but then you have to really define what is the definition of difficult in your question. Yes.
First of all, I want to say that it is really great that you are so honest about everything that you are saying. Like the
Thank
whole
you.
process and the publishing and the marketing. It's very refreshing, this honesty, because there will be many authors, seasoned authors, who are not willing to pass on their wisdom to the next generation, or they're reluctant. They will just keep it in and not share the data. So that's one thing that's great about this session. And another thing I wanted to ask was more related to writing only. You said that we have to set goals when we are writing, and we have to be very disciplined when we are writing. So that must mean, because I also write myself, but I am a very kind of inspiration will strike, only then I will write kind of
Sure, sure.
person.
Mhm.
So you must follow that goal oriented thing. So I want to ask, when you hit a creative wall, because that can happen, when you are churning out 2000
Mhm.
words per day.
Mhm.
So it can happen that one day you sit in front of the computer or the screen
Right,
and nothing is coming out. So what
right.
what do you do to reignite that imagination, or what is the most unexpected thing you have done to get back the creative juices?
Okay. Um, I'll give you an answer, and don't think I'm I'm boasting myself. Um, I don't hit that wall. Okay. Now, why the wall of not getting inspired? Why is that? Okay. Now, the inspiration can come at any point of time. Like now, let's say I'm ready to sleep. Okay. an inspiration hit me or an idea hit me. Oh, let's write chapter on this, right? What I do is I have another set of notes. Anything that comes to my mind, I just write it down. Whatever that comes to my mind. So when I sit to write, I'll have lots of things that I've already thought about. So I start writing based on. So I never run out of ideas. Yes, it can happen that I have a bunch of different ideas. How I'm going to stitch everything together that it goes in a flow, that's a different thing that comes in the last, right? So that's one thing that I don't know if you can try, if it'll work for you. It works for me, right? So that's one. Uh, and let's say if I'm down, let's say if I don't want to write or anything, take a break. But then don't make it a habit that every time you're feeling down, you want to take a break. Okay. What I do is rather do is I write 5 days a week. I don't write on Saturday, Sunday. That's my break inbuilt. But let's say today I was feeling lonely, I was feeling depressed, or I was feeling, it could be anything. Writing is a stress buster for me. So when I start writing, my mood suddenly becomes, good. So that's what I try to do. Again, it works for me. It may work for you, it may not. But then depending on what can work for you can be identified. Uh, but yeah, I think that's what the answer is for that.
That's really motivating. Like, I cannot believe that this is your debut book, because you do carry, like they say that experience is the best teacher. So you do carry so much experience that it shows, in your work, that you're seasoned in that aspect.
Thank you
So
so much.
what was the process like for this book, that when
Mhm.
you started writing, did you just, like, there is a term in writing industry called plotter, when you plot the whole thing first and then you
Right,
start writing, or do you just
right,
start writing and you let the characters dictate their stories to you?
right. So in general, I had an idea of writing lots of. In general, I had an idea about the theme of the book. I didn't have an idea of the flow. Okay. So I started writing with that. I wrote first three chapters. I sent it to, and I'm firm believer of getting it reviewed by people, getting the feedback. So I wrote first three chapters. I sent it out to people. Every single person said it's a piece of shit. I'm sorry for using that word. It's crap. I said, okay, fine. I was very demotivated. Then I took a break. I tried. I wanted to understand what did I do wrong. I spoke to every single one of them, and they said it doesn't make any sense, this and that, and all those things. Then I realized, okay, fine. It was very writing a book is a different thing, right, than writing a blog. Blog is totally different thing, and you don't have to think about the consistency and flow. So I took a break, 15, 20 days, 30 days. I read few books on how to write this book. I actually had read lots of books, but I then went again, tried to notice how fiction book is written, what books I am reading, trying to see how the dialogue is said, what are different things that people are saying. Instead of reading books on how to write book, I actually went and looked at articles, what mistakes people do, right? So these kind of things I went through, and then I came up with the new version of the three chapters, and people loved it, and that gave me inspiration. Okay, fine, let's write further to it. And then as I said, right, I get ideas and all those things. So if the story had to go in certain way, then I got some idea, no, let's do it this way. Okay, so that it becomes a little different. So story flow changed, I think, 2 to 3 times in the whole course of writing this book. But overall it remained the same, that it is more of a, you know uh, somebody is trying to learn from their mistakes so that everybody else also can learn reading this book.
Wow, that's amazing. That you even I do that sometimes, that whenever, because they say that the best ideas come when you are going to sleep. So that I do, that I note them down, but I struggle with being consistent with my daily input. So that's definitely something I learned today, and I will be trying to implement in my habits as well. While writing the book, were there any secondary characters that you particularly loved writing, or did you get attached to while writing? Any secondary characters apart from the main ones?
Okay. Uh, Before going into that, I'll tell you one more way to get really good ideas: walking. Walking is such an underestimated, activity. You walk and you get so many ideas. Okay, if you can try that, but always keep either a notepad or at least phone app where you can capture your ideas. Coming to the secondary character, so all these characters are basically, at least I can say, 5 to 6. There are, I think, 6 to 7 characters. Half of them are inspired by me itself. Okay. At certain age, what I was struggling with, at certain age, what I was helping other people, at a certain age, how I was doing things differently is what I try to portray, because I know that worked for me, right? So one or two characters which I'm particularly attached. So let's say a couple of characters who are actually giving the wisdom are learnings from my experience, but the characters which are actually creating humor in the book are a little close to me, right? Those are the characters which is little, I would like to develop more in the next book, so that they also get some kind of stage time in the next book.
We are having a sequel.
Yes, I mentioned that, right? I will write a sequel. I'm actually started writing it. So I'm already 25% done. The idea is to complete that in next 45 days, the main manuscript. And let's see. I'll send it out to people what they say, and yeah, let's see what happens.
Feedback plays a very important role for you, as I can understand that, for the
Absolutely,
initial. Yeah.
absolutely. And
And
I'll tell you.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
sorry to
please,
cut you off.
please go ahead.
I'll tell you one very good, very simple trick, and people will curse me for that. When you are sending your manuscript or anything for feedback, try to send it to at least 3 to 4 people who are going to criticize it. Please do that, so that doesn't matter what happens, you'll at least still find out, okay, fine, if that person says it's good, then it's really good. And if that person says something bad about it, okay, you'll know, okay, nothing can go beyond this, so you are in good shape or whatever. So whenever I send to people, if a person doesn't give me any feedback, let's say everything was good, I was just like, oh, I and he wasted my time, right? What can I improve, right? And then that happens. Somebody likes it, the entire thing. They have no feedback. So yeah, that's the way you can improve for sure.
That means you were looking for negative criticism.
Yes, always,
Okay.
always. Uh,
That could be constructive one at the same time.
uh, Constructive one is always good, but then there are few people in my WhatsApp group. If I send it to them, they'll just rip it apart, and that's okay. That's you need certain kind of people like that as well, because what is the maximum that can be wrong with this, you would want to know that, right? So that even you even make it perfect even for them. So that's the whole idea. And of course, whatever feedback you get, it's up to you what you want to implement.
I have heard this about athletes, actually, this kind of tough love kind of thing, that when coaches are training Olympic, champions and everything, they will say that you have to do better, you have to do better. So it's kind of giving that mindset to me, that you constantly
You
have
can
to
say
do
that.
better.
You can say that, yes.
So, do you have any particular scene, like since you have the book with you actually at hand? So, if you would read out to us, I would really love it. Any particular scene, if you want to.
Okay, I'll have to look for it. Okay, so open this, and this is a good one. Um, so I'll not name the character. It could be a little spoiler. Um, so he concluded, remember, saying sorry is easy, but truly apologizing requires a willingness to take ownership and make amends. It's a commitment to learning from mistakes and building a better future, both for yourself and those you've hurt. It's choosing authenticity over convenience, integrity over ease. So let your apology be an expression of your regret, not a flimsy bandage on a festering wound. So this is something which is I really feel everybody has to learn. Saying sorry and saying sorry from heart, those are two very different things, right? And that's why you have to learn a genuine way of saying the sorry. If you have seen Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, the character of what's his name, Farhan Akhtar, he says, "Say sorry when you say from heart," right? It's the same thing. Then only it means a sorry, and sorry has to have an action associated with that. Sorry itself doesn't mean anything if you don't change or don't change your behavior or whatever it is that you are sorry for. So that's really important. So that's something uh, I thought that was important.
So, other than this, I want to ask your views about working hours in corporate world, multinational companies, sir. I want your views. What are your views regarding this about working hours, sir?
Um, it's a very broad question, but let me answer that. So working hours. There's nothing called 9 to 5 anymore. Okay. And I do not know what was the origin of this 9 to 5. There's no 9 to 5 right now. It's all about work getting completed. And let me tell you, Rupesh, and everyone else, work never finishes. It'll never finish. Okay. So now, when work doesn't finish and there are no working hours or there is no restriction on working hours, then what do? Then you have to find a solution, or find a boundary so that you remain sane, still working and still looking after your family. And again, that same thing is covered here as well. So the idea is work, definitely, but at the same time you have to say no. um, I don't have time enough today, I don't have something else. I have worked till 3 a.m. in the night, but not every day. When it was required, yes, but at some point, let's say there was no work, I left at 3 p.m., right? So that flexibility, if you want to have, you have to give it to people who are reporting to you as well. That is most important. So if I leave at 3 p.m., I cannot expect Sarvesh to work till 3 a.m., right? That's really important. And if Sarvesh, let's say Sarvesh is stuck at some meeting, I should be there with him, right? So those are the things I believe in. What I'm trying to say is a leader has to lead from the front. So if you think leaving at 3 p.m. is okay, at some point of time, your people who are reporting or you're working with can also leave without any explanation. As long as you trust them and they trust you, that work that is done between us is going to be completed at certain point of time or whatever it is. Same thing happens with work from home. Um, I do not know why work from home is frowned upon, I would say, because people are not at office. They are missing out on socializing. But I think these days, if you go to office, that's when you do not work, because you're meeting everybody and then it's always a party. Look, when you're working from home, you are actually you're actually working on commute time as well. We live in Bangalore. Commute from home to office And I'm not joking. I'm not making this up. It's one way 2 hours. One way 2 hours. Every single day we are spending at least 3.5 to 4 hours in car, and that's too much of time. So work from home, I'm giving that 4 hours to work itself. What's the problem? So yeah, there are different point of view of leadership of different companies, why work from home should not be there, or why people should come to office. But yeah, so those are my views on working hours. I don't know, Rupesh, if it was a long answer. Is there any specific thing you were looking for from this?
So, sir, actually, I want to elaborate something in this case. Whether it is my responsibility or it is the responsibility of the authority under which I am working. Because if I am a senior employee, then I can protest, I can tell something. But as a new employee, is it possible for me to go against them or speak against them? Yeah, expect something from them that they will understand my problem. Sir, I think it is going to be a little bit difficult for a new employee, sir.
Okay. Okay, I'll give you a lesson from my book. Okay. You are a new employee or you're an old employee. How does it matter? Why do you think it's always already a problem? Why do you think it's already a problem that you can go at whatever time you do, whatever time you have to go? You are already thinking, of course, I'm talking about from a new employee perspective. You're already thinking that your boss might be angry, you leaving late or you leaving early. Don't have any assumptions. Okay. And if your boss says something that you are leaving early, you can always say, okay, fine, what do you want me to do? I've already finished my work, and whatever is remaining, I'm going to do it by this time. You're going to get your work when you ask for it, right? That person should not have any problem. But at the same time, you'll find shitty people in industry. You'll find them everywhere. The idea is not to go against them, because then it's a headache on both the sides. Then you have to find out what the best solution can be, right? uh, if you have any problem, Rupesh, let's talk one to one later, and then we'll solve your problem. If it's a very specific problem, we are going to solve it, don't worry.
Sir, in last some days, you have heard about Sasi Tharoor sir opinion regarding this. He was telling that he will allow only the employees to work only for 5 days, and Saturday and Sundays will be something off. Sir, yeah, is it really important that government should intervene into it, or it should be left to the authorities or companies that they should took care of their employees?
So do you think if government will implement this, private firms will follow that?
So I do not believe so, sir. I am just asking for your views, sir. Is it possible? It is viable, or it is just
Doesn't happen now. I'll give you a very candid example. We have dry days in whole of a year, but we still see people buying alcohol from different places, right? That happens. So all the thing is, if government intervenes or not, it's up to government. Has no say in terms of what company is going to go through a loss or a gain or a profit, right? If you have to complete some work by Monday or by Sunday night, they will make you work on Saturday, Sunday, so that work can go on Monday. If government says do this on, don't work on Saturday, Sunday, they will come up with something else. Because work has to get done. So I do not know right now how it's going to. I don't see how it is getting going to get implemented, but
exactly, sir. I will also share the same views. Actually, work has to be completed. It has to be completed in time. In that case, actually, no one has any say, whether it is authorities or the government. Actually, I have to complete certain work in due time. Then I have to complete by anyway. Then
but
there are surely some issue.
yes, but okay. Sorry to cut you off. Let's say work has to be completed in 2 weeks. Okay, uh, your boss comes and says, "Hey, Rupesh, this work has to be completed in 2 weeks." Rupesh says, "Yes." Now, what do we do, or do we question our boss? How does he think that this work has to be completed 2 weeks? That is for Rupesh to decide, right? And that's what happens when you're given 2 weeks for a 4 week work, you're working on Saturday and Sunday. That's a problem. You have to fight that problem, not the other way around. Making
Yes,
sense?
sir. Yes, sir. This is the main issue. This that exactly, sir.
Thanks.
Actually, sir, everyone is compelled in the sense that I also do not want my employees to, but I don't want to be too much rude or too much hard on my employees. But the problem is always you have to complete a certain project, certain work. Actually, in that case, actually, I have more, seniors above me. Uh, the issue actually you can understand that I have to obey the orders of my seniors. Actually, I also can't go against them. In that case, I have to cause my employees to work to complete the job. Actually, their issue comes, sir. Actually, I want to be normal to my employees. I want to help them. I want to understand their issues. But the issue is that I have some seniors above me also. If I will not cause my employees to complete the work in time, it is also possible that they will be fire me out.
No, that will not happen. So let's do one thing. Why don't you give me a call and we'll talk about it in detail, and let's see, we'll find a solution for your problem. There's
Yes,
problem for
sir.
every, there's solution for every problem. Don't worry.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Cool. All right. What else? Yes, Sumit.
Last question.
Yes.
Sir, according to you, what is more powerful and impactful at the same time? Self-motivation or or the motivation from others?
Okay. Mm, self motivation is more powerful because you're not depending on anyone else, right? So that's more powerful. You don't need to find someone. Okay, I want to get motivated. Who do I have? You have nobody. You can't get motivated. So self motivation is always there with you. So I think that's more powerful and works every time. So that's, I don't know. It's a small answer to your question. But I don't know. We'll go back to your previous question. I don't know if this answers your question. Self motivation and motivation from others.
But sir, sometimes loneliness can kill the motivation actually, the self-motivation as well. Any kind of
What can,
motivation.
sorry, what can kill?
Loneliness.
Loneliness. Okay. Okay. So you are asking if I'm lonely, what should I do
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
in terms
If
of
someone is
motivation?
lonely,
Okay. Um, very very valid point. Um, See, for me, and I say at least what Debolina also kind of shared, when we write, it makes our mood better, right? So at least for me, if I'm feeling lonely, I start writing and I become better. Okay. Now, loneliness can be problematic, let's say for you. Okay, you want to write, but you are lonely in the house or you're feeling lonely in life. There are two different things, and you probably don't get a motivation. You can do very simple thing. Either you can go to a cafe and start writing there. You'll be surrounded with people, some chatter going on, and maybe you'll get motivation to write that. Or you can find a couple of friends, you can hang out with them, and then once, let's say they were watching movie or say something, basically it's about having people around you so that you feel calm. You don't have that anxiety that you're lonely anymore, and you start writing. So that's very simple thing, maybe you can do, so to beat that motivation kind of thing.
but sir,
Does it make
sometimes,
sense?
yeah, sir, it makes sense. But when sometimes you're surrounded by people, it, it really sometimes makes you anxious,
Sorry, can you
Because,
repeat that?
uh, sir, when when you are surrounded by people, sometimes you get anxious. What can you do about that? Because introverts
Okay.
can
Hmm.
get anxious too quickly. Actually,
Okay,
introverts
so go
introverts are
ahead, go ahead.
tend to get anxious too quickly.
Okay. See, anxiety has different ways of you can have different ways of dealing with anxiety. Now let's go with this problem alone, that you feel anxious. So let's say we'll connect these two problems which you said. I want to write, I'm lonely, but if I go and sit in the cafe, I'm surrounded with people and I'm going to feel anxious. Is it a perfect problem statement, Swamidhi?
Uh, maybe. I'm not
Maybe.
sure.
Okay. Maybe. Okay, let's go with this. Now, what you do is, and this is the activity I do in my leadership coaching. I have a recorded course also for this. Uh, what you do is now write down. This is a problem statement that I want to write, but I feel lonely. I don't get motivation. So because of that, I have to go to cafe. Cafe, when I go, I feel anxious because there are people around me. Now, if you go ahead with this, what are the things that can go wrong as an introvert? People will make fun of me. People will make people will judge me. There can be hundreds of things. List them down. Against each problem, you can write what is my mitigation plan and what is my sorry, what was that mitigation? Contingency plan. So if this problem happens, what am I? How can I avoid this? If this problem happens, how can I? If this happens, how can I fix it? If it already happens, let's say people judge me. That one of the problem from coming from problem statement. I know I'm going a little complex. Okay, so let's say people will judge me. How can I avoid so that people don't judge me? If people judge me, what can I do after that? If you list all these things, you have solution to every single use case of your problem, and that's how you can beat anxiety. I don't know if
That's a
you
very quick answer.
got that.
That's a very quick answer because I have been, you know, suffering from anxiety for a
All
long
right,
time
so
now.
okay, let me do this. I'll share a link here. I don't know if you like it. Then see if this is useful. Sorry, Rima, I'm just doing a little bit of publicity of mine. Okay, so this is an entire course, basically dealing with the anxiety itself.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yep. All right. What next? Any other question?
So actually, I share the same views as you said. If you feel lonely, then writing is the best practice. You can write anything, in as going in your mind. So it's a good option, and I think anyone should try this. It will be of really helpful to anyone. Whatever you think in your mind, just write on paper. You have
Exactly.
nothing to say. Exactly. This is totally a personal thing. You are not answerable to anyone. You have not to show anyone. Just write whatever in your mind. What are the phases through you are going on? Actually, just write, record in copy, notebook, diary, anywhere. Just write and be calm.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
think this will be really helpful. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely.
So I guess we are done with questions and observations.
Anything else anybody wants to ask? Cool.
I just wanted to say something about I've read this book, and this book is really amazing. And the best part that I found book diary entry, the diary entry part is something which makes this book a real self-help book. Because the thing is, when you read a story, it sometimes happens that you forget. Tend to forget what is there in this book, and after a few days, you tend to just do not remember at all what you have read in this book. But the diary entry part keeps you reminding what the major points are there. Yes, this one. what the major point that they have covered, and the solution, the mystery of solution, the solution, exact solutions are there in the diary entry. So you get revision of that, and then it sticks in your mind. So the overall thing is really, really amazing. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. Thank you. In fact, you know that this particular idea of getting the diary notes was not in the original book. It came as a feedback when I sent this copy to multiple people. One of them said, "You do this," and they said, "Since it's a diary note, why don't you use a handwritten font? It'll make much more difference." And people love it. People like it. Lots of people have said that summarizing a chapter, it's really useful and helpful.
Exactly, the handwritten font also makes it very relatable.
I think we are done with the questions and observations now,
Okay.
finally. So, yeah, let's wrap up. It's a really very fruitful session with you, sir.
Thank you
I
so
hate
much.
to say it, but I think we are nearing to the end of our discussion today. As we all know, all good things must come to an end. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And the entire team of the Verse Whisperer congratulates you on your fantastic book. Rupesh sir, thank you too. Today we had the pleasure of conversing with the author Ankit Agrawal and the special guest Rupesh Ranjan about Mr. Agrawal's book The Mystery of Solution. It is a must-read book for all who are interested in reading self-help or looking for a light breezy story to unwind over the weekend. And with that, we conclude our session with the Verse Whisperer. You are go-to for all things related to books. Thank you to all the audience members for making this session. If you enjoyed this session, do stay tuned for more such contents. Keep penning, keep reading, keep following us. Let us, the flame of passion for writing world, bring brighter. Until next time, goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was very wonderful. I had fun. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.